Well, we're back with another reaction. And apparently, George Lucas had confirmed that Jango and Boba Fett are not Mandalorians. Ooh. What do you guys think of that?
Clickbait, clickbait.
Yeah, it smells like clickbait.
Fake news, fake news.
The same
None of
way
it's
he
true.
confirmed Darth Maul was alive.
We don't know if that actually came from George Lucas. So let's tackle this. General CGG here, ready for action.
The Shadow King, King Nazru, he who begins and ends all things in darkness.
This is the Spider-Fan maniac from State of Star Wars.
Nice. Well, that's the gang. Let's get on with this clickbait shit.
All right. 3, 2, 1,
What's
go.
up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, there's just a reminder that there's a big sale going on the Star Wars merch page. Using my link below, you can get a big discount.
No one cares
Nobody
about your
cares.
merchandise.
The designs that you like,
God,
you
so
should
much-
check it out. Again,
much
using my
is a
link in
Star
the description.
Wars
Now, let's get on with the video.
merch.
With the hype of The Mandalorian in full swing, I've had a lot of people address something that I mentioned in one of my videos. That being that both Jango Fett and Boba Fett were in fact Mandalorians.
They were.
And were some of the best warriors in the galaxy because of that. And while
That
in
part's
Legends
true.
continuity, this is absolutely true, with Jango and later even Boba Fett becoming the leaders of the Mandalorian culture known as Mandalore, this is not
And
true
George
for
Lucas
canon.
involved.
In canon, George
Well,
Lucas
wait, I
himself
don't think we
actually
need to do
revealed that
that,
Jango
honestly.
Fett and Boba Fett are not Mandalorians. A massive reveal in Star Wars The Clone Wars
Where are
that
you?
happened before I ever started on YouTube. So
Okay, I paused at 51.
51. Yeah,
He won't.
I gotta mention something. Oh, you guys paused? I gotta mention something. So
started on YouTube. So let's go.
I gotta mention something. So okay. He says that according to George Lucas, in canon, Boba Fett and Jango Fett are not Mandalorians. Did he actually say that? You got any proof? First of all, do you have any proof that he actually said that?
Okay, there is an
Also-
interview
also-
about Dave Filoni.
Oh,
Yeah, and also George Lucas isn't involved in Disney canon, so
Okay,
he wouldn't.
Yeah, he's speaking as if, ooh, the current canon under Disney is the same canon as George Lucas's.
I think I understand what's the basis of this argument, but it's a very iterative one. According to the season 2 documentary behind the Mandalorians of the TCW, Dave Filoni has an interview of George Lucas saying that he never said George never considered Boba and Jango to be Mandalorians. But then again, Dave Filoni isn't the most trustworthy source when it comes to Star Wars. And
Yeah,
he doesn't even know
considering
about the
he
expanded-
ignored
I think-
George's vision multiple times.
And also, in TCW, Pre Vizsla also said that Jango Fett was not a real Mandalorian.
Which is bullshit because Jango Fett and many other news sources and even if this video went with just what TCW said in the documentary, I guess that would be something. But no, George Lucas said that, and I'm not gonna bite the words from Dave Filoni because he's just a fucking liar, and he always throws George Lucas under the bus whenever it says.
And then again,
Stupendous Wave, you're so full of shit.
but then again, George Lucas said whatever the hell he wanted. And, I mean, George Lucas basically did not care after 2008.
Yeah, considering he was being harassed and all that. So anyway, let's go on.
Okay, where are you, Iron?
51.
51? Okay, 51, guys.
All right,
Let's
3,
go.
2, 1, go.
Let's go ahead and break it down, and the reasoning for the creator making it so Jango and Boba were not in fact Mandalorians. Again, in Legends, I want to make it very clear that being a Mandalorian was very much a part of Jango Fett's story, and he only left the Mandalorian culture after a large majority of them were actually wiped out by a group of Jedi. But again, in canon, this is not the case. Again, it's not even a theory that Jango and Boba might not be Mandalorians. it's been outright confirmed several times, again by the creator himself most notably. After his encounter with Jango Fett in Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, the Jedi Council, and Obi-Wan Kenobi himself both deduced that Boba Fett and Jango Fett were both from the Mandalorian culture. They didn't actually do any deeper digging besides simply looking at their armor, and deduced that because they had Mandalorian armor, they were in fact Mandalorian in culture. In Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 2, Episode 12, Obi-Wan
I think we need to pause it.
Alright.
Wait. Okay, let's pause.
Where are you?
1 minute and 47 seconds.
I'm at 146.
Originally, TCW, the show, was supposed to exist in the continuity. I'm saying originally because it doesn't look like it, but regardless, TCW show was supposed to exist in the continuity with the other EU. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But Dave Filoni, like the idiot he is, purposely went against the continuity and just did whatever he wanted because.
And don't tell us, oh no, but George Lucas' involvement. He was the direct creator of the show. Yes. In the what was I gonna say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Oh shit. It was something like.
When it comes,
That's a slight tangent. I just remembered that there's a Bible's Kid show that has the same CGI style as TCW. I just found that interesting.
And also TCW, you could also interpret the scene as that since Jango Fett is a bounty hunter and a mercenary, Minister Almec would purposely try to distance himself because he doesn't want his culture to be associated with criminals. You could also interpret that.
That could be a case, considering that they're supposed to be peaceful Mandalorians.
That's true.
And Jango Fett totally goes against that perception.
So what was I going to say about George Lucas's involvement?
In something.
I don't know what you were going to say.
Okay, let me mention another thing. George Lucas was extremely involved with the EU between the years 1991 and 2005, at the very least.
Even 2006 and 7, actually.
Yeah. Also, like his involvement in TCW was like literally not all that different from his involvement in the expanded universe.
I know you barely had involvement in TCW.
And you seriously want people to accept that George Lucas wasn't involved when somebody tried to make Jango Fett a Mandalorian? That is a major decision.
That is a major decision.
In fact, I got a quote. Where is it?
Let's hear it.
Sorry, I'm scrolling.
Don't lose train of thought.
All right, James Lucino said. He was talking about Shatterpoint. What's in the book is there because Mr. Lucas wanted it to be there. What's not in the book is not there because Mr. Lucas wanted it gone. Period.
That's
Revenge of the Sith novelization. I know, that's Matthew Stober. Okay.
So let's put this in perspective. When those EU books and all those other EU material that said Jango Fett and Boba Fett were Mandalorians, keep in mind, nothing in the expanded universe is done without him saying yes or no. If he didn't think they were Mandalorians, then he would have vetoed and stepped in and made them not make Jango Fett and Boba Fett Mandalorians.
Oh, the entirety of Jango Fett open seasons would not even have
existed.
Yeah.
Hell, even Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Too.
Yeah.
So there is that. So where is this nonsense that George Lucas is saying that? Or is it just that's just Dave Filoni nonsense?
Maybe it could be George Lucas, but then again, George Lucas's quotes after 2008, you can't really take it seriously. You basically,
I'd say more 2012, to be honest.
They just believe because Dave Filoni said, just like Freddie Prinze Jr. believes he knows more about the Force than the fans, just because he studied under Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni supposedly studied under George Lucas.
Oh yeah, because Dave Filoni was George Lucas's Padawan.
You don't know shit, Freddie Prinze Jr. You don't know shit.
Even Dave
neither do
Filoni.
you, Dave. And neither do you, Dave Filoni. Yeah. Should we continue, guys?
Yep.
Yeah,
146.
Okay, 146.
3, 2, 1, go.
Addresses this after the people of Mandalore state to him that they are no longer a warrior culture, and Obi-Wan naturally brings up Jango Fett. The Prime Minister of the planet, though, responds with this to Obi-Wan. Jango Fett was a common bounty hunter. How he acquired that armor is beyond me. Although at first this may seem like a throwaway line from the Prime Minister of Mandalore, George Lucas himself came out and said that in canon, Jango and Boba are again not Mandalorian, and that he
where?
even personally
When?
asked
Pause.
Okay, let's pause.
Do you guys remember the old Wounds comic from the Star Wars Visionaries in
Of course we do.
2005, right?
Yeah.
According to that book, the reason why Wounds wasn't canon is because George Lucas didn't want Darth Maul to be resurrected. Now, at some point we have to understand, because George Lucas, although I do respect him, isn't the most consistent man alive, and also he specifically
I've never heard ever say that he wanted Darth Maul resurrected.
according to Dave Filoni, says that he asked the permission of George Lucas and he allowed it. I mean, there's various things, and then again, here's various things.
Anything that Filoni says, I take a big grain of salt.
Leland Tree and Pablo Hidalgo said to various things about Dave Filoni that this doesn't make sense according to continuity-wise, but Dave Filoni just said, "Oh, George Lucas allowed me to do," which I assume that George Lucas, by the time when making TCW, didn't really care much because of the prequel he got, and just let Dave Filoni go wild and do whatever he.
Let's be honest. The only time I can see George Lucas actually saying, "Oh yeah, sure, release, I don't care," is with Ifkov. That's like the only time. But Darth Maul, I've never heard of it.
Also them saying that Jango Fett was a bounty hunter, not a Mandalorian. That being a bounty hunter doesn't negate you being a Mandalorian. There are plenty of Mandalorians who are bounty hunters. Just look at SWTOR.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And bounty hunter. The thing about the canon version of the bounty hunter and Mandalorians are a drastically different version of Legends. Now,
this new Mandalorian show is gonna have the Mandalorian be a bounty hunter.
Yep.
Oh yes.
We have to acknowledge the fact that this TCW was actually made during the time when Legends was canon, and this show was supposed to exist in this continuity. This is the thing that these people forget to mention. The context of when this show was made.
That is
exactly.
True. Also, can I bring something up? Whatever George Lucas says post 2012 is meaningless because he no longer is involved with Star Wars.
And also, James Luceno said that when writing Darth Plagueis, George Lucas was also very. And if you read Darth Plagueis, there's a section where it mentions the events of Jango Fett Open Seasons, the Battle of Halagard.
It also brings up Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
That's true.
You remember the scene where Dooku and his Jedis kills a bunch of Mandalorians and Jango is the only one who survived. That scene is actually mentioned in Darth Plagueis. And why? And I think those kind of things should be authorized by George Lucas.
Of course they were authorized. Hell, he put Ron Howard supervising James Luceno at the time. He literally was very what that book would have. So he literally put Ron Howard in charge of it, which would update everything on what the to George Lucas directly instead of the normal Del Rey.
Okay, guys, I think we should kind of speed things up because we need to go in like 21 minutes.
Okay.
All right. I stopped at
where you
2:15.
are. Okay, good. Let's go.
Right, 3, 2, 1,
For
go.
this line to be placed in the Clone Wars to explain this. Again, we really don't know any idea in canon how Jango or Boba got Mandalorian armor, but they did not inherit it. In Legends though, Clan Fett was actually a part of Mandalore, and were some of the best warriors of the Mandalorian culture as a whole. But this is not the case for canon. Producer of Star Wars The Clone Wars Dave Filoni even came out and said that George Lucas made it very clear to him on several occasions that the Fetts were not in fact Mandalorians, but pure bounty hunters, despite what Legends had to say about the characters, as again, George Lucas wanted to amend this for canon. It's made very clear that both Jango and Boba Fett are outlaws not a part of Mandalorian culture, and did not learn the Mandalorian way. It's commonly known that true Mandalorians actually have a code of conduct and a sense of honor, something that both Jango and Boba lack. It would be interesting though if Jango and Boba were actually brought up in the
Okay, what were you saying?
Jango Fett and Mandalorians are Jango Fett and Boba Fett are outlaws. But then again, the Mandalorians aren't the most law-abiding citizens when it comes to the galaxy. The thing about Duchess Satine, the peaceful Mandalorians, is a fan fiction created by Dave Filoni. You can't really take that seriously.
And again, here he is just stating, oh, he said, she said, with absolutely no quotes or link to any evidence.
Even if he provides the quotes from Dave Filoni, who's gonna believe Dave Filoni? You come seriously, who's gonna believe him? Because Dave Filoni, he literally just throws George Lucas on the bus whenever he wants, whenever he suits him, and praises him whenever he suits him.
Yeah, I mean, then again, also this, there's like this character from Star Wars, A New Hope called Will Hope. No. Was it Will Hope? No, there was Colonel Ular, but Dave Filoni thought this guy was a Grand Admiral because he was wearing a white uniform. That's why he's a admiral in TC. So when it comes to Dave Filoni, I don't take this guy seriously.
No, I don't. He's a joke in terms of continuity.
Dave Filoni's a fraud.
Of course he is.
Fraud.
Indeed.
Let's continue.
Yeah,
right, I'm at
What did you
309.
cost? 309. Wait. I'm 309.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Mandalorian TV series, as the main character is in fact a true Mandalorian, even though the only name we have for him currently is the Gunslinger. It would also be really interesting to learn exactly how Boba and Jango got Mandalorian armor, and how they would stack up in combat against a true Mandalorian. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? And did you guys know that both Jango and Boba are not in fact true Mandalorians at all? They simply wear Mandalorian armor. Again, I just want to state clearly this is only the case for canon, and in Legends, both characters are very much Mandalorians. Again, if you're interested, be sure to check out the link in the below for some Star Wars merch. You can find t-shirts and hoodies as cheap as $15 now. As always, my friends, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.
Jango Fett and Boba.
Okay, I think we can pause it here, Iron.
Yeah, I stopped.
Yeah, and the video is almost finished.
Okay, can I just say that Jango Fett and Boba Fett when they face a true Mandalorian?
Okay, here's the problem with Dave Filoni. God, can I say something, General?
Yes.
Here's the problem with the true Mandalorian BS. This is all happening due to the fact that Dave Filoni doesn't understand what he's saying. There is no such thing as a true Mandalorian. I mean, there is. Mandalorian, being a Mandalorian isn't just about race, or species, or something like that. You can be a Mandalorian if you're even a Wookiee. You could be a Mandalorian if you're a Rodian. You can be a Mandalorian whether you're white, black, Asian, whatever. So,
you can be a Mandalorian if you have no arms or legs.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, even my bounty hunter in SWTOR, who's a Mandalorian, is Togrutan.
So this nonsense about being Jango Fett and Boba not being Mandalorian is nonsense. And even Disney is not consistent with that. Did you know whether Jango or Boba Fett is not Mandalorian? According to the Star Wars Rebels toys, where they had the Jango Fett figure, on the backside description, it says that Jango Fett is a Mandalorian bounty. They actually sold in merch saying that Jango Fett is a Mandalorian bounty.
Oops.
Oops, what are you doing?
Lol.
So even in Disney, it's not even clear. And they pull BS. Originally in Legends, Jango Fett was from the planet Conquer Dawn. But in Disney War, they tried to say that, it isn't clear where Jango Fett is from, but he claims he's from Conquer Dawn, which is other BS.
So anyway, like I said, you just claim this person said something, but you don't give me any proof. So this is not a very good video.
As far as I'm concerned, this is just Chinese whisper.
Because if you want to prove your point, you have to give evidence or link to evidence. You can't just claim shit.
Dave Filoni is not a reliable.
Yeah, he isn't. That's why I take all big fat grain of salt.
And like I said, it's funny how Stupendous Wave acts like the current canon is the same one under George Lucas.
Lol.
Like
And
the
I
current
mentioned
canon
that-
has nothing to do with George Lucas.
I also mentioned that the official Star Wars Rebels merchandise has Jango Fett listed as a Mandalorian.
Yeah, this new Disney canon has as much to do with George Lucas as Dragon Ball GT has to do with Akira Toriyama.
Lol.
And also, like I said earlier in the video, if George Lucas did not want Jango and Boba Fett to be Mandalorians, he would have said no to them being Mandalorians in the expanded universe. Because nothing in the EU was done without his permission.
Indeed. Indeed, that is so correct, Ira.
So, any closing thoughts?
Oh. Well, my closing thoughts say, Dave Filoni, I don't buy your shit. And Stupendous Wave, unless you give me any quotes or something, I'm not.
So George Lucas said this, George Lucas said that. You guys have to take, when it comes to 2008, and especially something related to Dave Filoni, no, I'm not taking you seriously.
Or how about you, King? Do you have anything more to say?
Again?
This is fake news. Fake news.
This is gonna be fake. Come on.
Hi, Logan.
I was quoting Lex Luthor from Young Justice.
Oh, okay. That's something. But yeah.
All right. So I think that's all we have to say. So tell us what you think of this poorly done video of Stupendous Waves.
See you on the next one, guys.
Yep.
Farewell, mortals.